We are live. All right. Welcome, everyone. Today is a special day. I'm sitting with Mr. John Pickell. Thank you for taking time out. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure. Enjoy just talking to you, brother.
Amazing. We've been trying to get this time, both of us working out for a long time now, so it's glad we're finally able to do that.
Same here.
John is someone who has not just been moving deals himself, but he has been helping other wholesalers do that as well. And if you need direction in your business, if you want to learn pro-level strategies, this is the place where you want to be. You want to be till the end and watch the whole thing. So, John, I'm so pumped to have you here.
Same here. Thanks for having me, brother.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
The first thing I wanted to ask you from is, how did you get started in real estate? How long have you been in wholesaling?
For sure. Officially getting started in real estate, if you want to call the mortgage business getting started in real estate, I got into that in like 02, 03.
Okay.
And as the market crashed in 07, 08, I ended up getting my real estate license in 2009. Fast forward 10 years, I started wholesaling in 2019.
Wholesaling in 2019.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything that changed in 2019?
Totally. I was carrying like 30 listings at a time as a realtor and doing about 6 to 8 million a year consistently. Doing mainly listings, a little bit of buyer's agent work. And basically, it started to slow down. The expired listings and the for sale by owners started to be a little bit tougher to get listings. So I started to see people wholesaling, and I felt like there was a better way to supply the need that I didn't realize was such a big need with people needing to sell their home fast. So I added more distressed sellers to create a faster cash flow, but I'd also get listings off those leads as well.
And starting from that last year, or this year actually, at Squad you were the only person standing with more than 500 deals closed in a year. How did we...
Yeah, it actually happened last year at first. Me and Abraham Gray were the last two standing, actually.
Oh, yeah.
With over 1,000 plus deals.
Right.
And that just happened from a career of taking care of my family and doing a lot of creative deals after the first market crash and getting my real estate license. And I don't believe in coincidences. It's just a matter of that I've been a super creative realtor, and the mortgage business was tough, and I did a little bit of all three, from buyers, listings, and loans. And when loans got tougher, I started dealing with a lot of cash investors and helping people that didn't have maybe the credit or the taxable income where they can buy the houses that they felt they could get, which was a lot easier before 07 when people were approved. Anyone was approved, but this time, at least if you had a down payment, I can get you a mortgage on a private market.
Yeah. I was not around at that time, but I've heard the stories of 08's crash. So.
Yeah, it was the greatest financial crisis since 1935 is what that was called.
Yeah. Cool. So what does your business look like today, and where do you see that going forward?
For sure. So, it was really heavy. Today, it's running a nationwide wholesale company, doing dispo for a lot of different wholesalers. A lot of connecting, which was something I never really did for the first 24 years in sales, from home improvement to mortgages and real estate. I'd always be dealing with a homeowner, whether it's a seller or a buyer or a refinance client. And then once we joined Sub 2 and started dealing with communities, and then I became the Sub 2 leader, then we joined Owners Club, and things just constantly got better and better. We put ourselves out there, and now we have a pretty massive wholesale business, as well as I still do realtor listings and flips in Michigan, and day to day I'm also a mobile home park operator. Working on that. We finally got the paperwork squared away on that, and excited. We're working on the development. So as towards the future, that's what the plan is: more RV parks, mobile home parks, multifamily, while making the wholesale business kind of run itself. And as well as get into some lending as well, private lending.
Okay.
With some private equity funds and stuff. Pardon me. Yeah.
Amazing. So you've seen a bit of everything from 2002 starting mortgage, real agents, wholesaling, and now you're also getting into bigger assets and ownership. So I wanted to do more education or knowledge sharing for around double closes in general, which is a strategy in wholesaling that you can utilize. And can you share something from your past experiences when one of the stories where you
number one, I think it's a phenomenal way to do business, and it's great that Pace created the Gator community and created all these systems for great guys like you and Savan, the money man, as you guys can see right here. Double closes, EMDs, Morby methods. He's your guy to see. He'll get it done, and they'll do it professionally. So that's what we're talking about here is EMDs right now. It's a great asset for wholesalers who have serious buyers who actually can close at a good percentage rate to where somebody can come in and you don't have to come in with a low deposit because you don't have the money or whatever the case. Then you got someone to do that. So I think it's very crucial in today's wholesale market all around. It's also becoming a legality to have an EMD down and make it a serious offer. Overall, I think it's a crucial part of the business. As for me, I've done a lot of double closes where not just EMDs, where I bring a cash buyer and then the cash buyer sells it to another cash buyer or sells it on a land contract.
So what are the specific scenarios where double close really stands out as a strategy where the deal could have either died or the profit could have suffocated?
The purpose and the main purpose when it comes to double close is for that buyer not to see your assignment fee so they don't get bitter and potentially back out of the deal. So if you have a good solid fee, you're better off just going the double close route because why risk a serious payday in that case.
And a few wholesalers that I've talked to, and this is something I want to learn from you as well. It's novation piece of it. So if they are disclosing their profits with the seller, there's really a cap that they put on it, and they don't want to go higher than that. And that's also the case when you have a end buyer that's bringing in hard money lender. So hard money lenders typically also want to put a cap on how much assignment they'll fund. So in those cases, if that's something I have seen on my side, but that's you can maybe comment on that better than I can.
Yeah, a lot of hard money lenders will cap it at 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
So that's just a rule overall. Probably shouldn't be there if the equity is actually in the house and it falls into the category, but it's just kind of the way it is overall. So
yeah. Sounds good. Do you have any tips and tricks for making any wholesale deal in general a home run?
Yeah.
How can you guide wholesalers better?
Yeah, for sure. Well, go after probates and foreclosure leads to start, and then, really just treat it as your own product. And even if you have a go-to buyer who buys a lot of deals off you, you owe it to yourself, especially if you're running a business and you have a company and you have expenses, that you cast as wide a net as possible to as many buyers as possible that are serious buyers and have them make their highest bid so you can maximize your assignment fee or your double close.
So is that something you can help with, the expanding the reach? If someone's starting new, they don't have that necessarily the network to do that. So how would a newer investor go about making that possibility?
That's a great question. That's an awesome question. Basically, you reach out to someone experienced who is getting it done, someone like yourself or me who knows people, who can connect people, or a great dispo company that actually does this consistently.
Awesome. Yeah. And what's one biggest mistake you see typically wholesalers making that hurts them in the business starting out, or even stops them from growing? For sure.
Yeah, there's a time for full transparency when you let your sellers know that you are gonna potentially wholesale it, But at the same time, if you're someone like me and you're a serious buyer and you flipped a lot of houses, and you could say, hey, I may buy it, I may assign it to one of my partners. It's going to depend on as I get some detailed construction estimates and I bring my other buyers out. But this is your price, bottom line, as is, no commission, no closing costs. Just be as transparent as possible. The red flags are people that are offering way too high and then maybe have a plan to try to get the seller to do a price reduction. It's kind of like a bait and switch. So you definitely want to watch that.
So the disclosure part, technically where does that hurt? And so if, let's say, same thing you mentioned, you lock it high and then you tell them to back out or back down later based on your buyer's feedback. What is the seller's response typically? Is that when you see the deal fall out, and isn't there a risk if you try to offer too low in the beginning, the offer's already getting rejected?
Yeah, but you're better off being low or really close to low than coming in high and having a plan to get them down, because at that point they're going to be so bitter they're going to go with the next guy who hit them with the lower price right from the beginning because he seemed to be more sincere.
You lose credibility at that point.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Did that fully answer your question though? Or?
Yeah, I think that does. So I was thinking more from the perspective of the audience here, the wholesalers. They're trying to start these things to avoid when they are making offers, making deals happen.
Yeah, and that's the same advice, just be transparent to who you are. If you are a flipper or if you know flippers in the area, then you truly may be a buyer where you can let them know that either it's a 50-50 toss-up that I'm going to buy it, or that I'm going to assign it, unless you're really serious on whatever you're doing. It's just full transparency.
Yeah, honesty, transparency, maintain your credibility, and go from there.
100%.
Title companies, so in assignments and double closes, how important of a role a title company plays? Is there a specific conversation you need to have? Is there a relationship you build? How does that look like?
For sure. You want to go with someone experienced in creative financing. If it's anything creative, which most of our deals are, I'd recommend Creative Title and Escrow, which is owned by Pace and Jamil and Owners Club. And basically they would be my top choice, hands down. If not, you better know someone good locally who's understands the game and makes your life easier, because you can kill a deal by going with the wrong title company.
Timeline. What's the craziest story of a lesson that you have learned that will carry forever?
Well, tell you a pretty cool story. My highest assignment fee was $95,000. It was a newbie from Michigan, and we went to the house. She had the lead, someone she knew, and we went over there. And I was thinking maybe to offer like 170 to 180. I liked the house a lot. I knew the comps were good, and she wanted to offer 150. She works in negotiation, and she thought it needed like $200,000 in work, which it potentially did, and we ended up getting the right people in place. But I literally learned from a newbie and went with her advice on going with a lower price, and we got it done. So it was kind of a crazy story, because someone experienced for 6 years and someone who brings you a deal, and my job was there because we really had the option of buying it. But because we made that good fee, we just let it go.
Okay. So was that the lower assignment where you were able to offer, was that because of negotiation skills or just confidence? What does it come down to? A seller was okay with it?
Yeah, the seller thought about it for a few days, and then we happened to be at a sub 2 meetup, and then she got the text and said, whoa, they accepted it. And then like everybody got up dancing and they were playing some music, and it's a pretty cool divine moment. Just makes you feel like things are falling into the universe's plans. It's not all hunky-dory. You have thick skin, you got to be resilient, you got to be patient, you got to stay at it like Savan does. Savan, the money man, he's been at it, showing up to the meetings, support, coming, like he mentioned in his recent Instagram video, coming when you don't feel like it, and we all have those moments for sure. So
I appreciate that. Was this the same thing that happened at one of our NOLB challenges? I remember something similar from that, but if not,
I don't think so. Overall,
Okay.
I'm working on a deal, sealing a deal from the NOLB challenge that I was at in Arizona recently at the Golden Ticket. A lady was sitting next to me named Frances, and she said she had a buyer, and we went out to see a house while I was there, and close to getting the deal sealed today.
wow.
So pretty cool. There's
Awesome.
deals all over the place in sub 2 community.
Yeah, the community is pretty awesome.
Yep.
You'll find support for everything in there. What is one thing you wish you knew when you started in real estate?
Well, overall, there's a lot of big paydays, but you want to be able to invest those paydays instead of maybe think they're always going to be coming in at a high amount, to where you're, just basically maybe living overly luxurious, whether it's cars, houses, travel, but don't look back and regret in any way. But if you're younger and you can invest younger, then you'll create more time freedom as you get older.
Okay. What are some avenues someone can invest in? So is it, what are you talking about? Books, courses, coaches?
Yeah, 100% that, 100% that. Then also income generating assets, real estate, rental properties, yep.
What is your favorite part about the business, wholesaling?
Wholesaling, that there's speed involved. There's a lot of, pressure, and you just really have to care as well. Because I know a lot of wholesalers, they kind of have the wrong mindset. I've heard them say like, I'm just trying to find a seller who's, I want to suck her and get at a low price. And I'm like, hey, hold up. This is not about that. It's about if you're able to actually provide the need and give them this certain cash amount that works for them. And then in my case, and a lot of other wholesalers, you're able to lay out another option, like maybe you're going to list a property, maybe do a novation. So you have options. You're not just trying to sucker someone. You're trying to provide solutions for people's needs, and that's the main thing I like and learned to love about the real estate business. Overall, was more of a passion for people, more so than a passion for kitchens and bathrooms and stuff, which I've grown to like, but I've never had a deep passion for it. It was more about a passion for people, even from the realtor standpoint, being a Hall of Fame RE/MAX realtor and doing a lot of listings and showings. It was about the person. It's not about the house, but then I also got to care and understand the house, to a point, and then the inspector's got to come in and check on some of the main components and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I've seen you carrying that service attitude everywhere you go, even in the community and everyone. So you're always up for helping. So yeah,
appreciate
that's
that,
amazing thing about you.
Thank you.
One skill that is absolutely crucial and that can be pivotal for success for wholesaling. What would that be?
Same skill for anything, just being able to handle the no's and move on to more. And if you want longevity, build your business on a solid foundation with honesty, integrity, and then just care about each client, see how you can help, and lay out some options, whether it's just a wholesale deal or an ovation, or if you're a realtor, or then you may have to look at that as well. So those are mainly.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then of course creative finance as well. So you have to look at in between regular wholesale, creative finance, sub 2, hybrids, and then you're going to go to everything else. So, yeah.
Consistency and creativity. Just keep an open mind. Learn as much as possible.
ABG, always be growing. Yeah.
Always be growing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Never stops.
If you lost it all tomorrow, what would be the first thing you would do?
Exactly what we just talked about. Do some more wholesale deals, build up a pipeline, do some flips, and then get right back into buying some more developments and multifamily passive income projects for long term.
That's an amazing answer. Not a lot of people can say that I repeat the same journey. That's awesome.
Yeah, well,
cool. Well,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's all the questions I had. You did drop some gems there, so appreciate your time again.
Hey man, thank you for having me. It's been a joy and a pleasure. I know we have been talking about this for a minute.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best in your gator business.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, check out Savan the Money Man. Hit him up. John Pickell 1 on Instagram. What's your Instagram, bro?
Savan Adeshra. We'll drop that in the video. So
perfect.
the best place to find you is Instagram.
Yep, and Facebook, John Pickell, Pickell.
Awesome. Let's stay in touch.